My fiancé William got married, but unfortunately, the bride wasn't me. When I rushed to the venue, I saw that the bride was William's first love, Mushtar. When William saw me, he looked annoyed. Why are you so unreasonable? Ma is leaving. She just wants a wedding. What are you here to cause trouble for? Anyway, I will marry you. Looking at William, who had a face full of disgust, I didn't say a word and turned around to find my childhood friend. Soon, Julian showed off our marriage certificate. On the day we got married, William asked me hysterically, "Why?" I said, "Oh, she wants a wedding." "What are you making a fuss about? The groom can kiss the bride." Kiss, kiss. The voice of the master of ceremonies urging and the heckling sounds around all indicated that this wedding was blessed by everyone. If the groom wasn't my fiancé of 3 years, I think I would have clapped along. On the stage, William was wearing a white suit, standing upright. Just as I had imagined, he was handsome and dashing. The proper suit, paired with William's gentle smile, it was no exaggeration to say that he was the most handsome groom. And the bride was also gentle and lovely. The white wedding dress outlined her waistline, making her beautiful and charming, and she matched William very well. But shouldn't the bride be me? An hour ago, my friend called and asked me angrily, "Why didn't you invite me to your wedding? You promised to let me be your bridesmaid. What's going on? Do you have a new love now?" My friend Luna and I have always been like this, bickering. She and I are like girlfriends who grew up together since childhood. There is no doubt that she would be my bridesmaid when I got married, but when did I get married? I retorted awkwardly, saying that she was crazy. But she directly sent me a photo of William in a suit greeting relatives and friends at the hotel. "You still say you're not married? Isn't this your man? What's going on? Your man is getting married to someone else behind your back." I looked at the photo and said, "Yeah, that's right." "What?" Luna was stunned. She wanted to say something to comfort me, but she couldn't say anything for a moment. Before I hung up the phone, I only heard her say, "Sister, don't be impulsive. I'm rushing to the hotel now." I felt like I had misheard. When I arrived, Luna hadn't arrived yet. I didn't wait for her and went in directly. Then I saw William being urged to kiss Emma. Looking at William, who had been so gentle and affectionate with me before I went out in the morning, my heart skipped a beat. Was he possessed? But why was it Emma? If it were someone else, I might have believed that this William wasn't my William, but it just had to be Emma. She was William's first love. Amid the heckling, the two of them kissed. When Luna arrived, she directly dragged me to one side. "Damn it, that bitch actually dared to steal your man. I'm going to." As she was speaking, Luna wanted to rush forward, but I stopped her. It was better for me to deal with this matter myself. I asked Luna to wait for me outside. I stayed on the side of the stage and dialed William's phone number. At this moment, it was just the time when other people came onto the stage to give their blessings. William and Emma were standing on one side. When William saw my call, he frowned slightly and hung up. I called 5 times in a row before William deigned to send me a message, "I'm in a meeting." "What's up?" I smiled helplessly and raised my hand to take a photo. After I sent the photo to William, I saw him look around in surprise. Finally, our eyes met. William looked at me with a cold face. Then he lowered his head, and I received a message. "Why are you here?" "Ava, don't make trouble. Luma is leaving. She just wants a wedding. We're just going through the motions. You can leave first. I'll explain to you later. Don't worry. I will still marry you." William sent me a lot of messages today, more than he had sent me in a whole week before. After reading the messages, I smiled at William and then turned around and left. Luna asked me what I was going to do. I said, "I wish them well." Luna thought I was being too infatuated, and I thought so too. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible for me to be engaged to William for 3 years and still tolerate him lingering around us. When I got back to our apartment, I packed up the things that belonged to William and directly called his assistant. Then I gave him an address. It was Emma's home. Since the two of them were already married, it wasn't appropriate for William to keep living with me. An hour later, William called to ask me what I meant. What do you mean, you've already married Emma? Are you still planning to string me along? William, you're really disgusting. I didn't want to tolerate William anymore. Was it because I had been too good to him that he thought I really had no temper, and he turned all my kindness to him into a knife stabbing at me? Ava, think it through. If you really want to be so serious about this, then I really have to. The moment you got married to satisfy Emma, it was all over between us. I didn't give William a chance to say more and hung up the phone first. Then I posted on my WeChat moments to announce my breakup with William. My friends were all very worried and kept asking me what had really happened. Some even asked William in our group chat. William, what's going on? Is Ava serious this time? I told you that you shouldn't have satisfied Emma. Now look, Ava is angry, right? Everyone was blaming William for spoiling Emma like this, but William only used one sentence to show his stance. He said, all Emma wants is a wedding. I gave it to her. I didn't say I would really marry her. I will still marry Ava. You don't have to worry. As long as I go back, Ava won't be angry anymore. Won't be angry? William, in your heart am I, Ava, really that cheap? I blocked William's WeChat and went directly to Julian's house. When I found Julian, he was still sound asleep. Julian's mother didn't treat me like an outsider and directly let me into Julian's bedroom. Julian, with his hair in a mess, was stunned when he saw me. Ava, are you crazy? What are you doing here? Why did you just show up like this? Julian had loved me for many years, and I had always known that. Both Julian and I were kind of silly. I took meticulous care of William, letting him trample on my love, and I didn't react at all. I was even nice to Emma. Everyone thought I was William's lackey, and they even made fun of me behind my back a lot. Once, I went to a club to find William. Before I reached the private room, I heard the voices inside. They were talking about me. William and Emma were sitting on one side, and the others were gathered around them. I said, William, what on earth did you do to make Ava so devoted to you? You know that Ava's family is the head of the 4 major families, and Ava is the only heir of the Ava family. Now that Ava is so good to you, when you two get married in the future, your William family will surely rise in status. Yeah, that's right. You have such a good relationship with Emma. Won't Ava be angry? I don't think Ava will be angry. After all, Nola is William's best friend. Not just a friend, I think she's his first love. I don't know who made a joking comment. William smiled and looked at Emma, not saying a word in defense. And I was like a laughingstock, being ridiculed by them. Not only did William not say a word for me, but he even acquiesced in their veiled humiliation of me. Actually, at that moment, I was a bit disheartened towards William. But thinking about the love I had for him over the years, I still couldn't bear to let go. After all, I had loved him for so many years, and now we were already engaged. We were going to get married soon. I thought William just didn't know yet which choice was better for him, so he was still ambiguous with Emma. Until this time, when he ignored the dignity of my Ava family just to satisfy Emma, I thought I didn't need to let my parents suffer humiliation because of my love. Over the years, because of my kindness to William, my parents had helped William's family a lot. As a result, the William family now thought they were capable and treated my parents with a scowl. My parents had always put me first, so they were still polite to the William family. Every time the William family met my parents, they acted superior. In fact, my parents' status in the social circle was much higher than that of the William family. But now when I think about it, I really feel it wasn't worth it. Ava, what on earth do you want to do? I stood by Julian's bed without saying a word, and he rolled his eyes at me. I cleared my throat. Thinking of the stupid things he had done for me in the past, I thought that actually choosing Julian might make me happier than choosing William. After all, he put me first, and everything he did was to make me happy. Julian, if I want to marry you, will you agree? What? Julian, who had been a bit dejected before, suddenly sat up and looked at me in disbelief. I was amused by Julian's reaction. In fact, it's understandable. Over the years, Julian has been chasing after me, and I've been chasing after William. The two of us have become quite famous in our social circle. Love-slave and infatuated person are already relatively mild terms used to describe us. I seemed unable to see Julian's goodness before, but I don't know since when I look at Julian, I seem to see my own shadow. Indeed, I still have feelings for William, but I don't want to hold on anymore. Let's get married. Are you really going to give up on William? Yes, but I didn't want to hide anything from Julian. I thought he had the right to know the truth. Don't say anything. I understand. As long as you marry me, you won't be able to get a divorce in the future. And I won't allow my woman to cheat. If you dare to cheat, I'll make William lose everything and be disgraced. Julian is indeed such a resolute and straightforward boy, and he has changed so much just for me. I nodded. That afternoon, Julian and I went to get our marriage certificate. I asked Julian to go back first and pack his things. We were going to move into my bridal house, a villa prepared for me by my parents. I didn't expect that as soon as I got back to the apartment, I saw William. He was entering the password. Unfortunately, I had already changed the password. It would be strange if he could get in. William turned around angrily and happened to see me. Ava, what do you mean? Why did you change the password of the door? Also, what do you mean by asking your assistant to move my things to Emma's place? What are you going crazy for? William scolded me all at once, completely ignoring what I said. I gave a cold snort and had no intention of opening the door for William. You've already married Emma. Do you still want to keep your things here? Besides, I've already announced that our engagement is null and void. Didn't you see that? I gave William an unfriendly look. He froze on the spot immediately, and after a long while, he sneered. Ava, you don't need to pretend in front of me. Are you just angry that I married Emma? I've already explained it to you. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. If I'm really angry and don't want to be with you anymore, you won't be able to regret it. Look, William is so confident now. Isn't it all because of me? If I really choose to give up, can he still be so unscrupulous? So we've broken up. Good, very good. William gave me a cold smile and turned around to leave. When he reached the elevator entrance, William couldn't help but look back at me. Ava, remember what you said. Don't come and beg me later. I didn't even look at William and went in and closed the door directly. Less than half an hour later, I received a message from a friend. Is William really going to be with Emma? It was Henry, a mutual friend of William and me. I saw the screenshot Henry sent, which was William's WeChat moments. The picture attached was his wedding photo with Emma, and the caption was, "Got married." Many people asked him if he was serious, and he said yes. Someone asked about me, and he said, just a love slave. I don't care about her at all. Yeah, to William, I'm just a love slave. I'm just very curious. Since William likes Emma so much, why didn't he be with her in the first place? Why did he choose to be with me? Soon, I got the answer to this question. My parents also saw William's WeChat moments and asked me what was going on. I said, it's over. The engagement is cancelled. Are you sure? My parents were together. My mother was in charge of making the call, and my father was in charge of asking the questions. I have to say they cooperated very well. Sure. Okay, then we won't care about the William family anymore. I could hear a bit of excitement in my father's tone. I nodded and then spoke up when I remembered that my parents couldn't see me. Yeah, no need to care anymore. In fact, I don't know how much my family has helped the William family, but it's not hard to tell from my parents' tone that it must be a lot. 3 hours later, as soon as I arrived at the villa, Henry called. Did your Ava family break up with the William family? Yeah. Henry said that because the William family lost the support of my family, several projects that were about to be completed fell through, which directly led to the William family's revenue being in the red in the second half of the year. Only at this moment did I realize that the William family was being supported by our Ava family. From the perspective of an ordinary person, I'm like William's sugar daddy. But he treated me, his sugar daddy, worse than a dog. I think maybe the reason why William chose to be with me was that he wanted to take advantage of my family's resources. Fortunately, it's not too late for me to wake up now. You're back. Julian arrived at the villa one step ahead of me. Just as I was about to open the door, he had already opened it. We stood at the door, and suddenly there was a bit of awkwardness. After all, we just got married. This kind of awkwardness should be normal, right? My phone rang again, and it was still Henry. I answered the call, but the person speaking wasn't Henry. It was William. Ava, you're really going to abandon me, aren't you? Ava, how could you abandon me? Ava, my parents' projects are all gone. Woo. Ava, why are you doing this? William was sobbing uncontrollably, and my face immediately fell. Before I could say anything, Julian snatched my phone away. William, are you crazy? Don't you have your own wife? What are you crying to my wife for? Julian was so imposing. I gave Julian a thumbs up. In the past, if someone had spoken to William like this, I would have been the first to be unhappy. But now I can actually remain indifferent. Julian said that I was just completely heartbroken and finally woke up. Ava, you look so cool when you're not willing to be nice to William anymore. Julian hung up the phone and winked at me. I smiled along with him. After we had laughed enough, Julian started to worry again. You won't change your mind again someday, will you? Speaking of which, over the years, the person who has watched me blindly being nice to William the most is Julian. We grew up together since we were little, and William came along later. In junior high school, William transferred to our class. At that time, I thought William was very handsome and always discussed this boy with Julian. Julian, look at him. Look at you. Can't you be cooler and more confident? I gave Julian a disdainful look, and at that moment, I was hit hard by Julian. Julian has been practicing taekwondo since he was a child. With one punch, I felt like my arm was going to break. We usually joke around like this. He says I don't act like a woman, and I say he doesn't act like a man. I don't know why Julian got angry today. He suddenly stood up. Ava, are you crazy? We've known each other for so many years, and you say I'm not as good as William? Fine, you heartless woman. Julian was really angry, and he didn't contact me for almost 20 days. It was me who took the initiative to go to Julian's house. His uncle and aunt knew that we had quarreled and acted as peacemakers, and that's when Julian forgave me. We had a great time throughout junior high school. Although I thought William was handsome, I didn't have a puppy love. I actually fell in love with William in my senior year of high school. As the college entrance examination was approaching, William didn't study much anymore. I was very curious, so I followed him after school that day. Unexpectedly, he was going to meet Emma. That was the first time I met Emma. William held Emma's hand and pleaded desperately. Don't leave, okay? William looked so pitiful and aggrieved that it really made people feel sorry for him. But Emma cruelly pushed William away and said, Your parents don't like me, and the college entrance examination is coming up soon. I have to go to my place of household registration, or I won't be able to take the college entrance examination. In the end, William let go of Emma's hand and said, I'll wait for you. I'll always wait for you. Okay. After Emma left, William's eyes were red, and he seemed to have lost his soul. I accompanied William for the whole night. That night, I learned that Emma was William's first love. William was drunk and poured out his heart to me. I knew that William loved Emma, but his family didn't want him to have a puppy love. Moreover, as people in our social circle, we couldn't decide our own marriages. William's parents had already chosen his future wife for him, and naturally, someone from an ordinary family like Emma couldn't be in that category. Of course, I was in that category. So not long after that, William came to me. He asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend so that his family would feel at ease and stop embarrassing Emma. I don't know why, but I agreed. After the college entrance examination, we successfully got into the universities we wanted. William's school was next to university, which I got into. It was an art college. We often had dinners together. I also learned that Emma didn't do well on the college entrance examination, and her family decided to send her abroad at all costs. William didn't agree, but Emma said, "Your parents gave my parents money and made me leave. If I don't leave, I won't be able to get into any university in China." Knowing what his parents had done, William was very angry. He didn't blame Emma but began to complain about his parents. I accompanied William for a long time before he slowly got out of the shadow. Until our junior year of college, William took the initiative to propose that we become a real couple. I asked William, "Have you forgotten about Emma?" "Well, I don't like Emma anymore. She gave up on me, and I won't wait for her any longer." We got together as a matter of course. However, the day after we got together, Julian confessed his love to me. William didn't give Julian any face at all. He kissed me in front of many people and then said proudly, "Ava is my girlfriend. Do you want to be the mistress?" Julian was stunned on the spot. I saw the unwillingness flash in Julian's eyes. I intended to comfort Julian. Originally, the relationship between our two families was quite good, and we lived in townhouses. When we were children, my parents even mentioned the matter between us to Julian's parents. In Julian's view, we were indeed supposed to be together. Maybe we would have been if it weren't for William. But now everything has changed, and it happened without Julian knowing. Don't think that just because you and Ava grew up together, she will be with you. I'm telling you, Ava is mine. William's provocative tone was obvious. I thought it was wrong to do this, but William didn't think so. Julian left disappointed. I took William to a place where there was no one around. "William, you also know that Julian and I grew up together." "Enough, Ava. I like you. The reason I'm willing to be with you is because you like me. But if you're still entangled with Julian while being with me, and even tell me that you don't want to give up the opposite sex around you even though you have a boyfriend, then we might as well break up." William was angry and asked me to cut off contact with Julian. Of course, William wasn't an unreasonable person. He said, "Normal social interaction is okay, but you two shouldn't be alone together." At that time, I regarded all of this as a manifestation of William's love for me, and I agreed. From that time on, I started to distance myself from Julian. William was very good to me, and I found myself liking William more and more. So when William asked the Ava family to help the William family, I didn't think twice and directly told my parents about it. My parents initially disagreed. The William family is originally not in the mainstream. Why should our Ava family help them now? Mom and Dad, I like William. I'm with William, and we will get married in the future. Helping the William family now is like helping your future son-in-law. I pleaded with them in every possible way and even went on a hunger strike, and that's how I managed to get my parents to agree to give the William family a hand. But once something starts, it's hard to stop. The William family made more and more demands on our family. By the time William and I graduated from college, the William family had already established a firm foothold in the industry thanks to the help of our family. But the William family was still not satisfied and wanted more. My parents originally disagreed, and later at a party, they heard the couple of the William family say that everything the William family had achieved was due to their own hard work. They completely denied the efforts of my parents. That night, my parents came to me angrily. After hearing what my parents said, I was also a bit unhappy, so I went to find William. But William said pitifully that the Ava family's help to the William family had no proper status, and my parents couldn't directly say it out. After all this, in the end, it became the fault of our Ava family. William and I got engaged at this time. After that, the William family began to blatantly cling to our family. The resources of my parents were at the disposal of the William family whenever they wanted, and they even started to pick and choose projects. A continuous stream of projects came to the William family. But the relationship between William and me was not as good as it used to be. Especially after the engagement, I found that William started to be indifferent to me, which was completely different from before. I wasn't insensitive to it, but I just couldn't believe it. This went on for 3 years. If I hadn't heard William's words with my own ears, I wouldn't have been able to confirm my suspicion. How are we going to sleep tonight? Julian cleared his throat seriously. My thoughts were pulled back to reality by Julian. I looked at the bedroom upstairs and without saying a word, I pulled Julian upstairs. I think I should start thinking about myself. Julian is the most suitable person for me. Whether it was when we were children or during our school days, Julian was always on my side. He was so resolute. I think if I had to choose someone to marry, I would choose Julian. We're already married, of course we'll sleep together. As soon as I said this, Julian was completely stunned. After washing up, Julian was already lying on the bed. He was like a woman, turning his back to me and seemingly already asleep. I looked at Julian's back and smiled. Then I got into bed and went to sleep. I had a good night's sleep. When I woke up in the morning, I found that I was hugging Julian. Julian and I opened our eyes almost at the same time. When he saw me hugging him, he seemed a bit embarrassed. Although Julian is resolute and straightforward, he is still an idiot when it comes to relationships. If I remember correctly, Julian has been single all these years and has never been in a relationship. After I got together with William during college, I did indeed have less contact with Julian, but Luna would still tell me things about Julian. Julian has a good personality and looks very cute like a puppy boy. There are many girls who pursue him, but he rejected them all. Luna sighed, Ava, you're really something. You don't want such a good guy like Julian and insist on that pretentious person. What are you talking about? I know that Luna and the others don't like William. They all think that William approached me with a purpose. Although I had some awareness of it, I couldn't resist my feelings for him. After getting together with William, I had less contact with my old friends. William said, your friends don't like me, and I don't want to see them. Okay. I was truly a love-struck person. But I swear I wasn't like this before. It gradually developed later. My kindness to William made him and his family start to feel emboldened. So when he got the news about Emma, William showed great anger in front of me. William, did you know Emma before? Henry had just received the news that the project leader he was dealing with this time was Emma. He had investigated her background and knew that she knew William, so he thought about seeing if he could start from William's side. But when he heard Emma's name, William pursed his lips and said, that's a heartless woman. You'd better not have any contact with her. Got it. Henry didn't know that Emma was William's first love, but I did. I didn't show anything at that time, but after leaving the club, I saw the disappointment in William's eyes. After that, William often didn't stay with me. I followed William and found that he was following Emma. Later, Aina noticed William and explained the things that happened back then to him. The two of them seemed like a pair of star-crossed lovers. At that time, I really wanted to rush over, but I didn't. That night, I confronted William. Now that Emma is back, let's break up. I said it very calmly, as if I had already known that this would be the outcome. But William got angry. What do you mean, don't you trust me? When you went to see Emma behind my back, you should have expected that I wouldn't trust you. Actually, if William had told me clearly that he was going to see Emma and that he still had feelings for Emma in his heart, I would have let go. But the way it is now really makes me feel disgusted. But I didn't expect that William was actually angry. He said, I just wanted to know what really happened back then. I'm your fiancé now. Why would I be with Emma? William talked a lot to me that day. His main point was only one thing, that is, he wouldn't break up with me, and he and Emma were in the past. God knows how happy I was that day. That was the happiest day for me after I knew that Emma was back. But a man's words are like lies. I believed William, but he didn't live up to my trust. Ma gradually joined William's small circle. When his parents knew that Emma was back, they were very angry and directly sent someone to teach Emma a lesson. When William found out that Emma almost lost her job because of him, he directly went to his parents. I accompanied William home that day. William's parents seemed okay to me on the surface and warmly invited me in. Ava, you're here? How are your parents recently? They're fine. I replied to William's parents and then talked with them for a while. After the pleasantries, I looked at William. He had a cold face as if he was waiting for us to finish talking. It was only when I looked at William that he suddenly stared at his parents and said, "What's wrong with you? William, what's wrong with you? Why are you talking to your mother like that?" William's father looked at William with dissatisfaction, but William didn't care at all. "You know that I'm engaged to Ava, and Emma and I are just classmates. Why are you targeting her? Can't you just tolerate Emma?" Enough. William's words completely angered his parents. They may not respect our family very much now, but that's only behind the scenes. On the surface or when we meet, they still maintain the necessary courtesy. Now that William was defending Emma in front of me, they naturally couldn't accept it. "You still remember that you're engaged to Ava? Now you're speaking up for another woman in front of your fiancé. Haven't you considered Ava's feelings?" William's father's words made William give me a glance, but it was just a glance. "I am engaged to Ava. Can't I have my own friends? Just friends? Of course, Mom and Dad. If I still hadn't forgotten about Emma, I wouldn't be with Ava." Saying this, William looked at me at the same time. "Ava, I swear to you that Emma and I are just friends." "Okay, I believe you." With my support, William's parents promised not to target Emma anymore. Logically, William and Emma shouldn't have had any contact after that, but because of this incident, their relationship got even closer. Several times, William took Emma to some occasions. When I found out, I was naturally unhappy. After William was egged on by his classmates to rekindle his old relationship with Emma, I questioned William as soon as I got home that day. "You said there was nothing between you two, right? Don't you believe me? Ava, you know that I don't have any other friends since Emma came here. If it weren't for my parents, Emma wouldn't be in such a difficult situation. Shouldn't I help her? Ava, you really disappoint me. If I still wanted to be with Emma, would I have gotten engaged to you? Ava, we're about to get engaged, and you're doubting me?" We parted on bad terms that time. After that we made up, but we never talked about Emma again. However, this year, Miss said that she was leaving and going to settle abroad. She had already gone abroad to deal with these matters before. And the wedding with William was also to fulfill one of Emma's dreams. Everything seemed to be going so naturally, except that I, the fiancé of the male led, was being unreasonable. Now that everything has been settled, since I, Ava, have chosen Julian, I won't let him regret it. After getting married, I planned to tell my parents, but Julian said he would give me a month's time. Ava, I really like you and want to be with you, but I hope you can think it through clearly. Now that we're married, there's a 1-month cooling off period for divorce. I'll also give you a month. If you still want to be with me after a month, and we'll tell our parents. Although I was firm in my choice, I still agreed to Julian's request. I used to be William's love slave, and I always put William first in everything. But now I want to be myself. When I got back to the company, my assistant came to me with a contract. "Ava, the contract for the materials has expired, and this is the new one." Materials? I suddenly remembered something. The contract for the materials was also signed with one of William's relatives out of consideration for the William family. In fact, people in the company had grumbled about it behind my back more than once, saying that the current office supplies were not as good as the previous ones. I had reminded William before to tell his relative not to pass off inferior goods as high-quality ones. I vaguely remembered that William was angry at that time. "Ava, do you think my family is taking advantage of you?" "That's not what I meant. I just what?" William was obviously really angry and glared at me, so I ended up saying nothing in the end. After that incident, I didn't pursue it any further and still introduced many customers to his family's relative. Even the consumables in Luna's company are now from William's relative. But there's no need for that anymore. Let's have a bidding. Don't continue to use this supplier. "Oh, Ava, but this is..." My assistant probably wanted to say that it was William's relative, but she should have thought about my breakup with William, so in the end, she took the contract and left. 3 days later, William's relative came, acting haughty. Ava, are you crazy? What are you doing with this bidding? Are you doing it on purpose? Looking at the big and burly man in front of me, I had an unpleasant expression on my face. Take him out. Don't bring this kind of person in front of me in the future. I gave my assistant a cold look. As soon as my assistant heard that I was really angry, she quickly stepped forward to push the man who had barged in out. Ava, don't you forget that I'm William's uncle. Aren't you afraid that William won't marry you in the future if you treat me like this? Was he still trying to threaten me with this? I couldn't help but laugh and wave to my assistant. It seems that your relationship with William isn't very good. What do you mean? Don't you know that William is married? Married? William's uncle looked at me in disbelief, but after just a moment of panic, he started to act brazenly again. Since he's already married, shouldn't you treat me better? The proud expression on my uncle's face really made me laugh out of anger. It seemed that he really didn't know. I nodded. William is married. What does that have to do with me? Why should I treat you better? You're married to William, and you still won't show us any respect. It seems that you don't know. William didn't marry me. What? William's uncle then realized that something was wrong. He stared at me in shock. I stood up and played the Good Samaritan once. William married Emma. If you have anything, you can go to Emma. I drove William's uncle away. I knew this was just the beginning. In the future, I would deal with all the people and matters related to the William family according to the rules. If they were suitable, they could stay. If not, they would go through the normal procedures. The consequence of this was that my parents had to endure the harassment of William's parents coming to our house every day. That day, I originally planned to take Julian home for dinner, but I received a call from my mother first. The moment I answered the phone, my mother's dissatisfied voice came. You canceled the engagement with William. Didn't William know about this? Of course he knew. And he's already married to his first love. I hadn't told my mother about William's marriage to Emma, but now it seemed I had to. My mother was immediately unhappy when she heard this. Are you sure? Helpless, I directly sent her the photos of their wedding scene. What happened? The people from the William family said at today's business gathering that you had an affair, were with Julian, and abandoned William. In the mouths of the people from the William family, I was a heartless woman who betrayed my promise and abandoned my fiancé of 3 years for Julian, and our family was a scoundrel that supported me in abandoning William and targeted the development of the William family. After hearing what my mother said, I couldn't help but laugh. Mom, were you at the scene? Yes. Okay, Mom. I'll send you a video. Ask the staff to play it. Okay. Since William didn't care about his reputation, I didn't need to maintain his dignity anymore. Half an hour later, I arrived at the place where Julian worked. His family's enterprise has also developed well, but Julian doesn't like to be tied down, so he didn't choose to work in his family's company. Fortunately, Julian has an older brother who can take on the responsibilities of the family. So now, Julian can do what he wants. He is currently working in an animation company and mainly works as an illustrator. It's what he likes. Julian used to often tell me that painting could make him feel completely at peace. In fact, Julian has a high talent for painting. I remember that in high school, Julian painted a picture of me. The first time I saw Julian's painting, I was stunned. I had never imagined that I was so beautiful in Julian's eyes. Julian said, Ava, you're the best person I've ever met. Yes, for so many years in Julian's eyes, I've always been the best person, but I felt that I didn't deserve it. During the years I was with William, I ignored Julian and even hurt him several times because of William. You're here? Julian came up to greet me with a big smile on his face. I came back to my senses and smiled at Julian. Julian, I remembered the time when we were in high school. Didn't you often secretly paint me? As soon as I brought this up, Julian cleared his throat. Yeah, so what? Is there a character in the animations you draw now that's based on me? The moment I saw Julian, I thought of this question. Julian seemed to have not expected that this was what I wanted to ask. He didn't know what to say for a moment. After being silent for a while, he looked at me. Yeah, you. You know? It seemed to be true. I pinched Julian's cheek. Which character? Julian took a deep breath, his eyes turned around, and finally he took me to their company. Although this company wasn't Julian's family enterprise, it was a related enterprise. At first, Julian didn't reveal his identity. It was only after he became a top illustrator in the company that his identity was exposed. I just didn't expect that as soon as I arrived at her office, a group of people stood up. I was immediately surrounded in the middle. To be honest, I'm not the kind of person who is treated like the center of attention. All these years, I've been revolving around William. Even though our Ava family is at the top of the 4 major families, I've never looked down on others, nor have I ever thought of myself as superior. The gazes of this group of people were filled with scrutiny, and I felt a sense of guilt as if I were a thief. I opened my mouth, wanting to say something, but I didn't know what to say. You must be Ava, right? Hi, are you Ava? Wow, I'm seeing a real person now. Come on, let me take a look. Are you really like the character in Julian's comic? The people closest to me had already started gesturing at me. 170 centimeters tall, yes. 50 kilograms, yes. Is your leg really over 1 meter long? Come on, let's measure it. As she spoke, the girl was about to reach out and measure. I couldn't stand for that. I dodged, and those people burst into laughter. Just then, Julian came out with a sketchbook and a notebook. When he saw me being surrounded, Julian suddenly came up to me and protected me like a mother hen. What are you doing? Julian, this is Ava. Okay, go do what you're supposed to do. Julian chased them all back to their workstations, and I finally let out a sigh of relief. The two of us went into a small cubicle. Julian also looked outside warily. After making sure they really wouldn't come over, he completely relaxed. Did they give you a hard time? Do they all know about me? I imagined the scene of Julian talking about me with them in my mind. Julian didn't hide anything and directly told me what had happened. Everyone knew that Julian liked me, and even the prototypes of many heroines in his comics were based on me. It took half an hour. In half an hour, I thoroughly understood Julian's love for me over the years. Ava, you've always known that I like you. Even though I knew that there was only William in your heart, I still chased after you. Even though William didn't want you to have much contact with me, I still couldn't help but want to pester you. Ava, do you know that when I was at my lowest point, I was thinking, why am I so obsessed with you? Julian said it very casually, but I knew the pain in his heart. I had been through the same thing back then. Wasn't my feelings for William just like Julian's feelings for me? I hugged Julian and comforted him for a long time. Julian cried and explained to me, I don't want to complain to you. I just want you to know that your choice of me is right. If you choose me, no one will call you a love slave anymore. My Julian, why is he always thinking of me like this? Today's incident made me firmly believe in my choice and also made me realize that I might not be completely indifferent to Julian. As soon as I left Julian's company, I received a message from my mother. My mother was rarely so lively on WeChat. As the wife of a wealthy family, my mother has always been composed and dignified. But today, she was like a young girl, laughing merrily. I didn't know what was going on with my mother, so I could only look at my father beside my mother through a video call. Dad, why is your wife so happy? Isn't it because of your video that made your mother feel vindicated? Video? I was stunned for a moment, and it took me a while to remember that it was the video about William and Emma. What happened? Did the counterattack succeed? Of course it did. Why didn't you send out such a video earlier, Burl? If you had sent it out earlier, you could have shut the mouths of those people from the William family earlier. Yeah, do you know how much your mother has been bullied by those two from the William family recently? My father was adding fuel to the fire beside me, not caring about his daughter's situation at all. I sighed helplessly. Dad, tell me the result. The result is. My father couldn't go on directly, and my mother was still laughing. In the end, my parents asked me to check it online myself. That's when I knew that the matter of the William family had become known to everyone. Previously, when William said that I was treacherous, it was definitely on purpose. Now I even suspect that William doesn't believe at all that Julian and I are really married. Even though Julian seriously warned William not to contact his wife, William didn't believe it. At that time, William sent me a message from a strange number, saying, "Ava, I didn't expect you to be so disgusting. In order to make me believe that you've really forgotten about me, you even brought Julian out? It's really ridiculous. Everyone knows that this guy is your love slave. If you want to act, at least find someone I don't know, right?" As soon as I heard this, I couldn't help but laugh. But I didn't pay attention to William. He could believe it or not. Looking at the trending topics on my phone, they were all condemning William. They said that he only knew how to cherish me after losing me. Unfortunately, I already belonged to someone else, and his current behavior was nothing but harassment to me, the heroine. Previously, William condemned me as a heartless woman, and now he was slapped in the face just as quickly. Especially the video I gave to my mother directly exposed the past between Emma and William. Netizens are really powerful. They not only dug out the relationship between William and Emma but also uncovered a lot of things I didn't know. For example, William and Emma have never stopped contacting each other over the years. During the years when Emma was abroad, William always made excuses for business trips, but in fact he was going to see Emma. The two of them were probably so unrestrained because no one knew them abroad. They hugged and cuddled in public and even had several French kisses. There were even more explicit videos. I didn't have too many emotions throughout. At first I thought I would be sad, but after looking at it carefully, I actually felt very relieved. It seemed that these videos of William and Emma made me feel that my choice was completely right. When Julian saw me smiling while holding my phone, and it happened to be a red light, he cleared his throat. "What are you looking at? You seem so happy. You can take a look later." I was being mysterious, and Julian didn't ask any further. According to what my mother said, after I gave her the video, she didn't hesitate and directly played it. At that time, the people from the William family were saying all sorts of nonsense in the meeting hall, and every word was nothing more than condemning our Ava family. As the top of the four major families, there were naturally many people who were jealous of us. Now, regardless of whether the William family's condemnation was true or false, they could take the opportunity to kick us while we were down. Otherwise, my mother wouldn't have been so angry. "I told you that Ava didn't look like a good person." That's right, that's right. Ava, I'm telling you, I don't like you at all. I've always loved Emma. But I knew that you loved me, so I chose to be with you. Do you know how much I've owed Emma all these years? Can't I even help Emma now? I'm just having a wedding with Emma. Why are you still angry? Ava, you're such a petty woman to the core. The voice in the video overwhelmed the voices of everyone present. Everyone looked at the big screen. William in the video looked so arrogant. At first, it was all about him and others condemning me as a love slave, saying that he didn't love me and only loved Emma. The last part of the video was the scene where I asked William if he really wanted to marry Emma. I said that Emma is leaving. Can't she even have a wedding? William, I'm only asking you once. Are you sure you want to marry Emma? Yes. Are you annoying or what? William in the video was very impatient, and I smiled at him. Then let's break up. Don't regret it. William was still complacent, as if he didn't think I really wanted to break up. Yeah, William always knew that I couldn't live without him, so he was so smug. Now that everything has become what he wanted, how could he allow the truth to be distorted? Turn off the video. Turn off the video quickly. When the people from the William family reacted and wanted to turn off the video, the second part of the video was already playing, and it was my self-narration. William, I think I've been good to you all these years, and my parents have also been good to your parents. But your family has always been like vampires, sucking the blood of our family. The only reason my parents tolerated you was because of me. I thought that as long as I was good to you, you would be moved by me. But the return you gave me was to trample on my kindness to you without restraint. I think there's really no need for us to continue our relationship. Since you've already married Emma, I wish you all the best. No, it's not like that. William quickly shook his head and explained, May and I just had a wedding. We didn't get married. No matter how William explained, those who were watching the scene already knew the truth of the matter. Even though there were a few people who took the opportunity to kick us while we were down before, they wouldn't side with William now. After all, there are taboos in the wealthy family circle. William's behavior as a vampire is despised by everyone. A condemnation initiated by the William family eventually made them the ones being condemned. My parents left triumphantly. Before walking out of the banquet hall, they finally warned the William family, if you say one more bad word about our Ava family in the future, be careful that our Ava family will never give you a chance to turn things around. Everyone, from now on, the affairs of the William family have nothing to do with our Ava family anymore. With just one sentence from my parents, the William family completely lost their source of business. Especially now that my parents have exposed all of William's actions on the internet, it's no use for the William family to try to save face. The withdrawal of investment by the Ava family was just the beginning. All the projects that hadn't been implemented yet have now come to nothing. Before, my parents said that without our family's help, the William family could only sink into obscurity. I never expected that my parents were actually being modest. After this gathering, Julian and I became even closer. The William family has become a laughingstock. Not to mention talking about other projects, even some of the families that were on good terms with them before have severed ties with them. The only thing the William family wants to do and can do now is to pester my parents. They used to be high and mighty, but now it has all turned into pleading. Once when I got home, I saw the two elders of the William family kneeling outside our villa, constantly saying words of apology. We were wronged. We know we were wronged. Father of Ava, I was really wrong. Father of Ava, please save us. William's father completely changed his former arrogance. He looked like an old beggar abandoned by the roadside. In the past, they looked bright and glamorous, but now they look more ordinary than ordinary people, and they are completely different from their former selves. I originally didn't want to pay attention to them. But when I passed by them, William's mother saw me. She stood up and came up to me, and directly knelt down in front of me. Ava, you're here. Look, your parents know they were wrong. Can you talk to your parents and forgive us? William's mother had a look of flattery in her eyes, which was completely different from her previous attitude towards me. I pushed William's mother's hand away in disgust and at the same time called the security guards of the villa area. This family has nothing to do with our Ava family anymore. Don't let them in the future. Ignoring the wails of William's parents, I directly entered the villa. My parents saw my reaction and finally believed that I had forgotten about William. My parents even held a celebration for me because of this. Facing this long overdue celebration, I was a bit at a loss, but I still accepted it, and I invited Julian. During the dinner party, my parents were extremely happy when they saw Julian. Dear daughter, you've finally seen the light. Do you realize how good Julian is? This cold snort came from Julian's father. Julian's mother was originally smiling, but when she heard her husband's snort, she was obviously a bit dissatisfied. She directly slapped her husband. What are you doing? Why are you being such a killjoy? Where is our son inferior? Just thinking about how attentive this girl was to William before makes me angry. Uncle's words made me feel full of guilt. In front of the four elders, I directly promised Julian that I would be with him wholeheartedly in the future. But Julian smiled. Ava, you haven't forgotten about the 1-year time limit, have you? What 1-year time limit? At this time, the gazes of the four elders all fell on us. Julian and I didn't plan to hide it and told them about the 1-year time limit that Julian gave me. My parents kept speaking up for me. Ava really understands this time. She won't be confused by William anymore. Julian, don't give up on this girl. Yeah, my son made a good choice this time. She should know that if she wants to get the best, she has to pay the price. Yeah, what Uncle said is right. I knew that Uncle wasn't really angry, but just felt sorry for his son. My family had a great time during the meal, and Julian's family also seemed to be in high spirits, especially Julian's mother. When I went to the restroom, Julian's mother followed me out. Julian's mother was waiting for me in the corridor. Ava, Auntie has something to tell you. Don't take it the wrong way. Seeing how serious Auntie was, I also became serious. Auntie, go ahead. We've always known that all these years, Julian has been thinking about you. Actually, at first, we also thought that you and Julian were a good match. Now that we see you coming to Julian, your uncle and I are very happy. But you also know that the things between you and William can't be ignored. So Auntie, I know what you mean, but what I want to say is that I can actually call you Mom now. Auntie looked at me in confusion. I looked around and showed Auntie my marriage certificate with Julian. Auntie, Julian and I are married. I originally wanted to make it public, but Julian said he wanted to test me for a year. I know Julian is worried that I might go back on my word, but I won't. You should know that once I decide on something, I won't change my mind. I told Auntie about my determination. As she listened, Auntie actually started crying. I comforted Auntie for a long time. Okay, Auntie believes you. When the gathering ended, Julian and I went home. We talked and laughed all the way. I even decided that I wanted to take things further with Julian tonight. If I hadn't seen William at the villa gate, my mood wouldn't have been too bad. The moment I saw William, I was just holding Julian's hand. William was originally sitting on the ground looking pitiful. When he saw me, he seemed to suddenly find his backbone and started running towards me. I was worried that William would come and hug me, so I quickly dodged. I pulled Julian and avoided William. But William wasn't happy about it. He cried and asked me what I meant. Ava, you said you would always be by my side. What do you mean now? Now you'd rather choose this love slave than me, right? William looked at Julian angrily. It seems that William has only now believed that I'm really with Julian. I looked at William inferently, and the corners of my mouth involuntarily raised. William, we broke up a long time ago. You haven't forgotten, have you? William was at a loss for words for a moment. Julian rolled his eyes at William. I'm telling you, I'm now a legal husband to Ava. If you keep pestering my wife, I can cause trouble for you. Wife? William looked at me in disbelief. Julian directly stood between us. Don't believe it? Julian asked rhetorically, and then waved at me. Take it out. I didn't react at first. Julian looked back at me. I saw it. You have the marriage certificate with you. At this point, I understood what he meant. I quickly took out our marriage certificate and waved it in front of William. See? I'm Julian's now. Stop being shameless and thinking about me. I was out of my mind and had a problem with my eyes when I chose you in the first place. Now I only have Julian in my heart. I suddenly got angry. Actually, I was angry from the start, but I didn't want to show it. But William was being too annoying, so I had to do this. I want to give Julian a sense of security. I want Julian to know that I, Ava, didn't choose him on a whim. I was indeed good to William before. But there's a saying, when you've had enough of disappointment, you'll leave, and leaving without a word is the most resolute. I left William because I had accumulated enough disappointment in him. If William hadn't been stringing me along, making me work hard and spend money for the William family, while also having an ambiguous relationship with Emma at the same time, even if I was the one being used, I wouldn't have had too many complaints. Julian and I drove William away. Domineering lie. We showed our marriage certificate, and William was sobbing uncontrollably. When William said with a mournful face that he knew he was wrong, I used the same trick and directly asked the security guards to take William away and told him not to come again in the future. I thought that what Julian and I did was obvious enough, and he wouldn't come to find me again. But unexpectedly, he started pestering me. Not to mention all the harassing phone calls, he even started coming to my company to look for me. Before, I was the one who waited for him to get off work every time and picked him up and dropped him off in various places. But now it was William doing all these things. He appeared meticulously in all the places where I might show up. Even if I didn't welcome him, he still showed up without hesitation. When William saw me downstairs in the company, he was overjoyed. "Ava, you're off work. Do you want to eat seafood today? I've reserved the seafood you like the most." Looking at William, who was flattering me to make me happy, I really couldn't help but laugh. In the past, it was a luxury for William to even smile in front of me. But now, besides smiling, he doesn't dare to show any other emotions towards me. I suddenly realized that karma is a wonderful thing. I always thought that William didn't know my hobbies, and he didn't even know what I liked and disliked to eat. There were several times when I wanted to tell William that I didn't really like eating meat and that I wanted to eat seafood. I wanted to ask if he could accompany me to have seafood when he was free. But I never even brought up such a request to William. Today, I realized that he actually knew all about it. Seeing that I didn't move and stood there, William thought that his words had worked, and the smile in his eyes became even stronger. "Don't worry. They've already started preparing the food over there. All the ingredients are the freshest. If we go there now, we can start eating in less than half an hour." I came back to my senses, glanced at William and finally sneered. "So you know that I like eating seafood?" I asked rhetorically, and William was instantly stunned. He probably didn't expect that I would still remember. But how could I forget? I'm someone with a lot of quirks when it comes to food. I don't like eating fatty meat, and I even dislike eating grilled meat. At first it was just a dislike, but gradually I couldn't accept it and couldn't eat it at all. When I first started dating William, I told him about it. But William said, "It doesn't matter. I like eating grilled meat. You can accompany me, and after we finish eating grilled meat, I'll accompany you to eat what you want." At that time, William hadn't completely treated me as a substitute, and he was still relatively nice to me. But even so, he had never accompanied me to eat seafood. At first, I was looking forward to William remembering my preferences. Unexpectedly, he only remembered after we broke up. It's really ridiculous. "Ava, I know I was wrong before. I misjudged people, but William." Suddenly Emma's voice came from behind me, and the corners of my mouth curled into a smile. "Here she comes." She came really quickly. "Is she worried that I'll steal William away?" "William, what are you doing?" The person who came was none other than Emma. William seemed not to expect that Emma would come. After being stunned for a moment, the way he looked at me became strange. I looked at William inferently. "Why are you looking at me? Look at your wife." "William, you said you wouldn't contact Ava anymore. What are you trying to do now?" Emma's eyes were filled with sadness, and it seemed that she had really been hurt badly by William. "But it has nothing to do with me now, so I left quickly. I made an appointment with Julian to try on wedding dresses tonight, and I didn't want to be late." When I arrived at the bridal shop, Julian was already there. Luna and Julian's friend were also there. They were going to be the best man and bridesmaid at our wedding. When they saw me, they both gave me a cold look in unison. Something was wrong, very wrong. I cleared my throat, walked up to Luna, and poked her arm. "What's wrong? Why are you late?" "I'm not late. I checked the time before entering. The appointment was at 6:30 p.m. And it was only 6:26 now." But my words seemed like an excuse to Luna. She frowned. "Fine. I thought you had really forgotten about William, but it turns out you're still contacting him privately." The more Luna talked, the more confused I felt. I quickly asked Luna to tell me the truth. I didn't know until she told me, and I was almost furious. I didn't expect that William had contacted Julie and many times when I wasn't around. Just before I entered the door, William called Julian. He cried and said to Julian, "Please don't take Eva away, okay? We were about to get married. We've been engaged for 3 years. You know that what you're doing makes you a homewrecker, right? Do you even know that Eva is with me now? I'm telling you, Eva won't come to be with you. Julian obviously looked a bit disappointed when he heard this. His friend scolded William and then started comforting Julian. But Julian didn't care. I'll wait for Eva. If she doesn't come by 8 o'clock, I'll leave. Look how good my Julian is to me. Even though William was so provocative, he still gave me so much time. Fortunately, I came on time, otherwise I would have fallen into William's trap. I swore to Luna that I didn't have any other thoughts about William now. Don't forget, I'm the one who approached Julian. Don't you know what kind of person I, Eva, am? I asked rhetorically, and Luna fell silent. After a long while, Luna looked at me seriously. Sister, this time I'm on your side. Don't let me down. I still want to be with Ethan. When I heard this, I couldn't help but roll my eyes at Luna. She's such a heartless woman. It turns out she's not thinking about me but Ethan? Ethan is Julian's friend and the best man this time. I said that the way Luna looked at Ethan was strange. But it's okay. Anyway, Ethan didn't have a bad first impression of Luna. If we try to match them up, they might get together. Just as I was thinking about this, Julian came out accompanied by Ethan. Julian in a white suit, although not extremely tall and imposing, had an adorable puppy-like charm that made people can't help but feel affectionate towards him. Julian and I have known each other since we were children. I never regarded Julian as a boy and even ignored many of his advantages. In fact, Julian is really a very handsome and cute guy, and he has a good temper and personality. I was so stunned that if Luna hadn't pushed me, I would have just stood there motionless. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and go try on your wedding dress. Luna's words brought me back to reality. I quickly walked up to Julian and gently patted his head. My man is so handsome. After choosing the wedding dress, we went to look at the hotel. Although preparing for the wedding was very busy, Julian and I were both very happy. William never came to look for me again after that day, but I knew about his recent situation, all thanks to Henry. He came to see me every day and would always try to bring up the topic of William indirectly. I knew he wanted to see my reaction, but I made it clear that I had completely given up on William. But even though I told Henry every time, he still turned a deaf ear and continued to tell me a lot of things about William. For example, the William family has now applied for bankruptcy and is being chased by creditors. The creditors surround the William family's house every day. When the William family was in a desperate situation, they pushed William out and said, "This is my son. Take him away." William thought he had misheard and looked at his parents in disbelief. His parents were stunned when they noticed William's gaze. No matter how he pleaded, he couldn't be kept at home. William became the lover of an old rich woman. I don't know what William was thinking. At first, he resisted, but later he actually endured it silently, or maybe he even enjoyed it. He started spending the old woman's money. I heard that once when he went to a hotel with the old woman, Emma found out. Ma directly rushed to the hotel and caught them in the act. The old woman just wanted to have fun and didn't want to take responsibility. Besides, in her opinion, William was given to her by the William family, and she wouldn't pass up such a good deal. But now that William was married and had caused her trouble, she was immediately unhappy. She severely punished William, asked the William family to pay back the money quickly, and also had someone beat Emma. Me took out all her anger on William because she was beaten. I heard that on that day William's face was scratched by Emma. Ever since Emma found out that William had been fooling around with other women behind her back this time, she has been treating him very badly. I once scrolled through Emma's WeChat moments. They used to show their affection for each other, but now they keep complaining about each other all day long. Emma said, "If it wasn't for William seducing me and saying that I was his first love, I wouldn't have believed him. I didn't expect he would be such a scumbag." In Emma's words, William is a shameless homewrecker and a typical scumbag. With this persona, Emma became the deceived one and William, the once cynical rich second generation, is now a down and out young master. Those people on the internet who hate the rich are all criticizing William. William is now like a rat crossing the street, with everyone shouting to beat it. On the contrary, Mona seized the opportunity and earned a lot of sympathy on the internet. Ma herself looks quite good. As a result, some brainless fans hate William even more. Ma not only packaged herself as a victim using William, but also found her own way to get rich. In less than 3 days, Ma's account gained millions of followers. When William heard this news, he was furious. During Emma's live broadcast, he directly rushed in. Before they could turn off the live broadcast, they had a public criticism session in front of the netizens. William said, Emma is playing dumb. She clearly took the money from his parents and left, but now she says she was forced to leave by his parents. Mama said, you knew that Ava was good to you, but you deliberately strung her along. You kept saying that you loved me the most, but you slept with an old woman. Do you have any shame? The two of them started scolding each other. It was really intense. Luna sent me the live broadcast video. She said, sister, you're in the spotlight again. Now everyone knows that you were the one who was taken advantage of. Facing Luna's sneer, I remained indifferent. However, when netizens mentioned me, I noticed something fishy. William actually used the netizens to make the public think that I still loved him. In fact, the story between William and me had already spread in our circle. William's behavior had long been criticized. Everyone knew clearly that even if I still had feelings for William in my heart, it was impossible for us to be together. After all, William could now be considered a despicable person. But some netizens mentioned me and said, Ava, I didn't expect you to be so affectionate. Even though William is like this, you still love him. What a passionate person. Why can't I meet such a woman? Among these voices from netizens, William also spoke up, I know I'm sorry to Ava, but I know she truly loves me. If I can still be with Ava in this life, I will definitely treat her well. I will never make her sad again. William spoke with an emotional expression, and tears streamed down his face. His posture and demeanor clearly showed that he had already found the right angle in advance. When Luna saw the video, she was immediately furious. What do you think? Will you fight back? I thought for a moment, wait for me. Are you softening your heart and don't want to deal with William? Hearing this, I couldn't help but roll my eyes at Luna. Am I crazy? Why would I want a scumbag like William instead of my beloved Julian? I didn't rush to explain. Instead, I waited until the popularity reached a certain height before starting to fight back. Now I don't feel sorry for William at all. Since he is courting death, as a good ex, I naturally have to give him a helping hand. I posted the previous videos of William flirting with them and also found several videos showing how badly William treated me. Then I personally stepped in and said, excuse me, should I want a man like this? Netizens are not stupid. They understood the sarcastic meaning in my words and all mentioned William. It's your turn, the male led. How do you plan to respond? The netizens' mockery made William feel extremely ashamed. He quickly contacted me. What on earth do you want? When you involved me, you should have expected this outcome. I ignored William and directly announced my wedding news with Julian. Both William and Emma were mocked, and they no longer dared to go online. I was glad to be free from trouble. I found Henry and asked him to warn William not to pester me anymore. After that, there was really no news from William. The next time I heard about them was when Emma was found by the wife of the man she was having an affair with because she was being a mistress. In the video, Emma had a mournful face and was almost beaten to death by several women. You bitch, you're still seducing my husband. Do you want to die? I'm telling you, you won't be able to stay here anymore. The old woman beat Emma half to death. Ma didn't dare to call the police, and even after someone among the onlookers called the police, she just said that it was all a misunderstanding. Later, Emma really left. Henry said, Ava, don't worry. This time Emma really won't come back. I smiled bitterly. What does it matter to me whether she comes back or not? Seeing my indifference, Henry was taken aback. Ava, you can really forget William. How many times do I have to say it? I was really angry. If I remember correctly, I have told Henry many times, but why on earth won't this damned man listen? I frowned and looked at Henry unhappily. Henry saw that I was really angry and immediately started to act evasively. But I didn't give Henry a chance to continue talking about these messy things. I drove Henry away and told him not to come to me again. Ava, we are classmates. I don't want a classmate like you. I'm not unaware that every time Henry came, he was trying to make me not hold a grudge against William. But I have also told Henry that I don't hold a grudge against William anymore. I just don't want to have much contact with him. My meaning is already very clear. I'm living a good life now, but I see Henry every day, which makes me very unhappy. After driving Henry away, I made it clear to everyone in my WeChat moments. I have broken off my friendship with Henry because he always speaks well of William and wants me to help him. It's impossible for me and William to get back together. If anyone wants to matchmake us, please think carefully, or you will lose me as a friend. Julian and I will get married in a month. Those who want to come are welcome. With these 3 posts in my WeChat moments, I think those who understand will understand. My parents and Julian's parents were extremely happy. They helped us prepare for the wedding every day. I have to say that a marriage supported by parents is really very happy. With their help, Julian and I didn't seem to have to be so busy. When Julian and I got home that night, we were both very tired. But the police station called, saying that someone had reported me for harassment. I didn't even go to the police station. After finding out that the person who reported the case was William, I directly told the police about our disputes. I'm very busy and tired now. If you have evidence, come and arrest me. Otherwise, don't expect me to go to the police station. I didn't want to be harsh on the police either, but I was really tired. This wasn't the first time William had done such a thing. I've become immune to it, and I don't want to waste time playing games with William anymore. After several times, the police seemed to understand why I was so resistant, and now they just ignored William. But William started spreading rumors online, saying that he was being harassed and that the police didn't care. The police are not incompetent. They directly issued a public announcement about William's false report. The internet has a memory. Everyone knows what kind of person William is and felt sorry for the police. I knew it was time for me to take action, so I sued William for slander. With the police's verification, William had to admit it this time even if he didn't want to. On the wedding day, I didn't expect William to show up. He was all dirty, unkempt, and looked like he had been in a garbage dump for a long time. I frowned and looked at William, with Julian standing beside me. William looked at us and directly asked me, crying, "Why?" I said, "Oh, she wanted a wedding. What are you making a fuss about?" As soon as he heard this, William seemed to be struck hard and almost stumbled and fell to the ground. I took Julian's arm. "William, I don't love you anymore. When you deceived and used me again and again, you should have expected this. But I regret it now. But there is no medicine for regret in the world. Just because you regret it doesn't mean I have to take you back, right? William, admit it. If you weren't living a bad life now, would you have thought of me? I thought I was good to you, but the way you treat me now makes you truly unworthy of being a human being." I smiled bitterly and kissed Julian in front of William infuriately. "Thank you for coming. Julian and I are getting married today, and we will be happy for a lifetime." William was taken away by the police, and Julian and my wedding received the blessings of everyone. A year later, our child was born, and there was no news of William anymore. I think no matter what, there won't be any more contact between William and me.